Now at 5, staff shortages force more area schools to close, now including Joplin.
President Biden meets with Senate Democrats as the party pushes for sweeping voting rights legislation. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with the latest hurdles standing in the party's way.
And the new strategy for battling mosquitoes and malaria.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
As COVID spreads, the growing number of area school districts canceling in-person classes now includes Joplin. This is KOAM News at 5. The Joplin district is canceling classes tomorrow due to staff shortages. The district says buildings will undergo deep cleaning and sanitization before classes resume on Tuesday of next week. A number of area districts have either canceled classes or reverted to remote learning this week. You can find an updated list at KOAMnewsnow.com. As schools across the area continue to shut down due to staffing shortages, some remain open. The Carl Junction School District is among the few still holding in-person classes. The superintendent, Dr. Phil Cook, says the district looks at a number of different things in determining whether to close. Right now, Cook says the district has enough staff and attendance numbers still look good.
We have collected data every day since the other school districts announced that they were closing. We've done it all year actually, just to check where our COVID numbers are at, our absences. We use our own personal data to help make decisions. And we just take a look at where we're at and is it close to normal for this time of year? And it just has been.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more from Cook on how the district is doing from a staffing perspective and what they take into account to determine whether to close. The Supreme Court has stopped the Biden administration from enforcing a requirement that employees at large businesses be vaccinated against COVID-19 or undergo weekly testing and wear a mask on the job. At the same time, the court is allowing the administration to proceed with a vaccine mandate for most healthcare workers in the U.S. The court's conservative majority concluded the administration overstepped its authority by seeking to impose the Occupational Safety and Health Administration's vaccine or test rule on U.S. businesses with at least 100 employees. More than 80 million people would have been affected. The weather, not bad at the moment. Checking in with Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it's turned out to be a great Thursday for us today. Temperatures into lower 60s during the afternoon, which we will definitely take. Pretty much clear skies. We have some mid and upper level clouds which are streaming in, but look at the clouds starting to increase. So these will thicken up as we go into the overnight hours tonight. The beginnings of our next storm system, which will start to affect us tomorrow night and then into Saturday. And a good chunk of us are going to get moderate snow as we go into Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. So that's something that we really want to watch over the next 36 hours. Now, until then, we look pretty good. Temperatures are sitting still into the upper 50s across the region. A little breezy out there. We've had kind of northwesterly winds all day long at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 50s, 40s, 30s, mid 30s for us later on tonight. We'll talk about snow here in just a bit.
See you then. An Nevada, Missouri business owner admits failing to pay taxes on nearly $1.5 million of income. 53-year-old Kevin Morrow pleads guilty to filing a false tax return. Morrow admits he omitted nearly $1.5 million in income from the federal income tax returns he filed from 2014 through 2016. During that time, Morrow operated Morrow's Show Steers, a cattle sale business. Under federal statutes, Morrow could get up to 3 years in federal prison without parole. President Biden today met with Senate Democrats to push Congress to pass voting rights bills. But it now faces a steep uphill climb, with 2 key party moderates once again voicing opposition to changing Senate rules. Skyler Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
President Biden came to Capitol Hill to discuss voting rights legislation with Senate Democrats, days after publicly calling for a change in Senate filibuster rules, which require 60 votes to pass bills.
I hope we can get this done. The honest-to-God answer is I don't know whether we can get this done.
While I continue to support these bills, I will not support separate actions that worsen the underlying disease of division infecting our country.
Before the president's visit, moderate Senate Democrats Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin reiterated their opposition to doing away with the filibuster.
We need changes to make the Senate work better. not getting rid of this filibuster.
Senate Republicans praised Sinema's speech after weeks of warning Democrats not to change the rules.
That would not extinguish the fires of red-hot tribalism in this country. It would throw gasoline on them.
Senate Democrats had previously set Monday's Martin Luther King Jr. holiday to pass legislation. While these latest developments make that highly unlikely, party leaders say they'll keep fighting.
We are going to do everything we can to pass these two bills.
The motion is passed.
Thursday, the Democrat-controlled House passed the Freedom to Vote John Lewis Act along party lines. It consolidates bills which would establish national election standards and reinstate key provisions previously stripped from the Voting Rights Act. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Former Presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama have come out in support of President Biden's position on the filibuster rule. Mr. Obama wrote in USA Today, "We can't allow it to be used to block efforts to protect our democracy." Buckingham Palace says Queen Elizabeth II has stripped Prince Andrew of all his honorary military titles and royal roles in Charities and other civic groups amid a growing furor over allegations he sexually abused a teenage girl, the girl who was supplied to him by financier Jeffrey Epstein. The Palace statement today came after more than 150 Navy and Army veterans wrote to the Queen asking her to strip Andrew of all his military ranks and titles. The U.S. District Judge yesterday refused to dismiss a civil case against Andrew by an American woman, Virginia Giuffre, who alleges the royal sexually abused her when she was 17. Andrew's lawyers denied the claims. Still ahead, a winter caution.
Warnings about fires caused by space heaters. I'm Michael George, and we'll show you what you need to know to use them safely.
And next in Health Watch, a fake blood bait to battle mosquitoes and malaria. Topping today's Health Watch, traditional chemotherapy can have devastating effects on quality of life, but a study highlights a promising alternative. Northwestern University researchers found that new combination immune therapy is more effective at extending the lives of kidney cancer patients while being less toxic to their overall health. Scientists in Europe say they've developed a new eco-friendly bait to kill mosquitoes and help stop the spread of malaria. The disease kills nearly 500,000 people every year. Tina Kraus reports.
At this laboratory in Sweden, scientists are out for blood, lots of it. They're mixing a sweet but deadly cocktail of artificial blood, hoping mosquitoes will bite. Researchers found a molecule in the blood of people infected with malaria that releases a smell that attracts mosquitoes and entices them to drink more blood.
We can add these molecules to any solution, and that molecule actually make us tasty for mosquitoes.
By mixing that key molecule with plant-based toxins and beetroot juice, scientists say they've set off a feeding frenzy. Thousands of blood-sucking insects are dying within hours in a project aimed at killing mosquitoes that transmit malaria.
So if we can use something which is as cheap and as scalable as pesticides, we can actually eliminate them.
Dr. Lech Ignatovich and his team say their environmentally friendly pesticide is harmless to people and allows them to target only mosquitoes.
We can pick the ones which we want to get rid of and target those and leave alone all the rest of the ecosystems.
And researchers say the bright pink juice can be seen inside mosquitoes' guts, so they can track which ones have taken the bait. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Florida scientists have found more evidence that face masks help reduce the spread of airborne diseases like COVID-19. In a study in the Journal of Infectious Diseases, they found face masks cut the distance airborne pathogens can travel in half. And they say 3 feet of distance with a mask is better than 6 feet unmasked. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, some items disappearing from grocery store shelves.
Plus, snow chances increasing for the weekend. I'm going to break this down for you coming up next. Well, it definitely turned out to be a great day for us today. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures into lower 60s. Can't beat it. I hope you enjoyed it. It actually felt great outside. We still have pretty much clear skies. Nice shot, indigo sky, casino and resort. The sun is beginning to head down Actually, the Earth is rotating, but the sun is going down, and it looks like we're going to have a pretty good evening. Temperatures mainly into the mid to upper 50s across the region, so it looks good. Nice shot of the sun setting, 7th and range line. In Joplin, sitting at 57, northwesterly winds, kind of breezy, 10 to 15. Humidity is low at 44%. Through the evening hours, we slide back through the 50s, 40s, mid 30s a little bit later on tonight, so a little bit on the cool side across the region. Some mid and upper level clouds, but in general, we look good. But you can see the clouds increasing to our north and to our west. This is the beginnings of our next storm system. So clouds will filter in tonight. Here's our wave pushing into western parts of Montana, which will gather strength as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. All right, let's break this down for you. Tonight, we look okay. We kind of have winds switching back out of the southeast. Clouds thicken up. We drop back into the upper 30s. Tomorrow, just cloudy skies all day long. Temperatures aren't going to be bad. I think most of us will still go well into the 50s for highs, but it's going to be a cloudy day. 52 by noon, high temp of 56 as we head into the afternoon. Let's go into the evening hours. So we're going to stop at 10:30. Tomorrow evening, rain picking up across the region, and look at the snow starting to filter in into our northwestern counties. That rain-snow line will march through the metro, so after midnight, most of us are going to be heavy, wet snow. Here's the good news. Temperatures near freezing. The ground is fairly warm. It's been warm today. Temperatures through this entire event near freezing. We are going to get some slushy roads, but I don't think the roads are instantly going to cover. And because the ground's warm, it's going to take a while before we really accumulate any snow. Let's go into Saturday mornings. Light snow, mainly on the Missouri side, kind of cuts off on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. As we go through the morning hours, we get this back band, and it rotates in, and we get light snow continuing. So here's 11:30, so about the noon hour on Saturday. Temperature still upper 20s to lower 30s. This band rotates through. So here's 3 p.m., and then most of this is going to be out of here by 4, 5, 6 p.m. on Saturday. Then this event will be done, but it's going to be moderate wet snow. The lesser amounts are going to be in our western counties. So most of southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, let's say a half an inch to an inch. Most of us along the state line, Pittsburgh, Joplin, through the metro, 1 upwards of 3 inches of snow. The heaviest, Springfield, Branson, points east, where they will get 3 to 6 inches of snow. So something we want to still watch, but it is going to turn a little white by the time we head into the weekend. 56 tomorrow, 33 on Saturday, 37 on Sunday. So the weekend's going to be cold, kind of crummy outside, and then back to 55 by Tuesday.
Oh, well, you can do what it wants over the weekend. We're going to be watching football.
That's right.
In the cold winter months, a lot of families plug in space heaters to get warm, but the devices lead to thousands of fires every year. Reporter Michael George has some tips to keep your family safe.
An apartment building fire in New York this week took the lives of 17 people, and investigators say the flames were started by a space heater. New York firefighters did a demonstration to show just how dangerous the appliance can be. A blanket placed on top of a heater ignited in less than 30 seconds. In less than 2 minutes, the entire room is filled with smoke and flames.
When that space heater is on, that is at least 3 to 5 feet away from anything that would burn.
Safety officials say it's also important to plug the heaters directly into the wall, not into an extension cord or power strip.
All too often, if the space heater itself doesn't go on fire, the power strip or wiring will cause a fire.
When buying a heater, experts advise getting one that will automatically shut off if it tips over, and make sure it's certified by a lab. This UL code signifies a product has been tested and certified.
Make sure that there's some basic safety protections on them, like a grid on the outside of it to protect child or pet from getting too close.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission says it's also important to check cpsc.gov for any recalls. Over the years, several heaters have been recalled for overheating. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Coming up, the empty shelves at some grocery stores. First, though, we recognize a local veteran of the U.S. Army. Galena, Kansas native Stephen Dunn served with a military police unit from 1969 to 1971. And we're proud to salute Corporal Stephen Dunn, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, new federal data show consumer prices soared over the last year. Gas prices up nearly 50%. Used car prices jumped 37%. And prices for all types of groceries also went up. Shoppers are also finding empty shelves at some stores, reminiscent of the early days of the pandemic. Scott McFarland has that story.
Up and down the aisles of this Whole Foods outside San Francisco.
A lot of produce was just out. Like the green onions gone, like the apples I was looking for weren't there.
To this ShopRite in New Jersey.
Some of the water was missing last time, some of the cereals were missing.
Shoppers across the country are being met with empty shelves.
This is actually the third store I've been to tonight trying to find some pasta.
And sticker shock.
Prices are off the charts for a middle-class family to eat.
Last month, it was $5, half a gallon orange juice. This month, $10 for a half a gallon, but only one type.
A new report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics found the price of ground beef jumped 13% over the last year. Fresh fruits nearly 8%, eggs 11%. In addition to the sticker shock, shoppers across the country are complaining of supply chain shortages, sharing images on social media of empty shelves at grocery stores. Experts say the shortage is a perfect storm. Severe winter weather mixed with supply chain issues and a rise in COVID cases keeping workers out sick amid ongoing staffing shortages. The nation's truckers tell CBS News they're operating with 80,000 fewer drivers than needed. This problem with some empty shelves in some stores, is that going away anytime soon?
Well, it's gonna be several weeks before we see relief.
Doug Baker is with the Food Industry Association that works with grocery stores. According to his group, consumer demand for groceries jumped 50% at the start of the pandemic and has not slowed as many people continue to cook and eat most meals at home. Their recent survey found about half of shoppers say they've noticed some products not available at their grocery stores.
It's sort of like playing whack-a-mole. If you don't see it today, you'll probably see it tomorrow.
So we don't really know what the next local item shortage is going to be?
Yeah, we unfortunately we don't typically know until it's upon us.
Whether your grocery store has some empty shelves also depends on severe weather in your area and the level of COVID cases. As the Omicron variant hopefully peaks and recedes in the coming weeks, staffing shortages should improve and the shelves should become better stocked. Scott McFarland, CBS News, Bethesda, Maryland.
Fewer people passed through TSA checkpoints this week. According to the Transportation Security Administration, just 1.2 million people went through airport security yesterday. That's the lowest volume since May. A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the White House is sending military teams to help hospitals battling staffing shortages nationwide. Then on KOIM News at 6, what some local school leaders take into account when deciding whether to close in-person learning. Plus, the attorneys general of Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma respond to the Supreme Court ruling today concerning workplace vaccine requirements. And legal action targets Missouri's Second Amendment Preservation Act. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOIM News at 6. The American Red Cross wants to send you to the Super Bowl. People who donate blood this month will be entered to win 2 free tickets to the big game in Los Angeles. The package covers travel costs and also includes some spending cash. The Red Cross is trying to boost donor turnout after declaring its first ever national blood crisis. Lots of good reasons to donate to the Red Cross, the blood drives, but my goodness, 2 tickets to the Super Bowl? If you needed more incentive, that possibility of winning should be enough. See Mahomes take on the Packers in the Super Bowl.
I could see that happen.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Hope so.
Maybe.
Or Mahomes take on anybody.
I'll take it. You bet.
Yeah.
Weather.
We look pretty good for us tonight. We'll drop back into the upper 30s, 56 tomorrow. So temperature is good, but cloudy skies. Rain increases tomorrow night, then light snow increases late tomorrow night and into the daytime hours on Saturday.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.